first 2013 relegation CLG played in, and we automatically won that game. And so even in scrims, I have 100% win ratio on Blitzcrank, and I'm trying to put that into the LCS now, even though last week was unfortunate, but hopefully it'll be banned against me soon.
All right, so what's the general outlook of the team? You guys got Zion back. Has he been providing anything from the team while he was kind of sitting back? How's it going?
Definitely, Zion is one of the huge improvements that we've made to the top lane, and he can definitely hold his own and also carry. And that being said, he also can control top side of the map and shot call up there when we're laning and stuff like that. So it's really good.
Do you guys kind of feel you can let him do his own thing, or are you kind of trying to alter him out of that carry top lane position?
We let him do his own thing. We don't really want to take away from his style, and it definitely is helpful as a team.
Right on. You guys have Cloud9 coming up tomorrow. How do you feel about that, and how are you going to come into it?
I feel really good. Cloud9 definitely stepped up this week, so I'm excited to have a great game.
All right, Aframu, congratulations. 2-1 now on the split. Best of luck as you guys move on. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to break down that game a little more.
Now, that was a pretty fabulous game there by CLG. Very...
Fabulous, huh?
Yeah, fabulous. That's the word I'm going with. It was very straightforward. It seemed very, from that level 1 proxy to the first blood, and then the execution from there on out, pretty solid play across the board for all of the individuals. I have to say it's nice to see Zion come into the team. And game 1, and granted he's been with them, so it's not as if they haven't been practicing, but game 1 on the LCS stage, they get a really solid victory under their belt.
He had a little bit of a hiccup there. After Impact already gave up first blood, so he didn't have to give up first blood with his kill. But
yeah, both top laners had a little bit of a rough start to that game. Zion, though, definitely playing it, that front line for the team later in the game that they needed of him. Now, I want to take a look immediately, though, at that level 1 proxy that we saw Riv ask Aframu about. We're going to pull that up on your screen. Zyrene, let's just go over the effectiveness of this nuanced strategy that they pulled out.
All right, so it's also the strong side here because they have Zion, they have the double jungle happening on this side, and what they're going to do is they're going to kill all of the melees in this so that the casters are left. Their wave will push up to the turret, and then that wave will actually push against them because it will have 3 more caster minions left in it, but that's the B part of the strategy. The A is the teleport comes in, Impact actually didn't back in that time, so he wasn't full HP, and they completely capitalized off of that by just having Zion immediately tell him, hey, this guy's half HP, start rolling the clip, and then he ends up diving. They just have a really, really good start to this with blowing pretty much minimal summoner spells, too, to do so. Great hook by Afro as well.
You have to say it's decently risky, too, to absorb that much damage at level 1, from minion damage. I mean, the double is just sitting there taking tons of minion damage.
well, plus, did you see the cheeky thing they did? He got a couple of Ren stacks on the Gromp, so he even got the heal from killing the Gromp as well when he pulled that off. So he got a pretty big influx of money. Not to mention the after effects here, as we already know.
Yeah.
Aframu with hooks after hooks.
Of course, this hook was huge. As Aframu had said, they don't always come away from this level 1 strategy with the kill. So that was kind of the cherry on top. But that early turret damage, that definitely has to throw teams off guard. And that's the kind of ingenuity we're looking for in the early parts of the season when people are still trying to figure out patches.
And when people are able to use new champions. There's so many different strategies that you can come up with when there's a champion as varied as Kalista with all these different mechanics. CLG came out with 2 different things this time around.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how it would have played out if he had backed, gotten full HP, and then TP'd top. Probably would have been a different strategy there because at the same time, like I said, they only killed the melees. That wave was going to push towards them, so it would have been another freeze. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation, and you have to find a way to play around that.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay there from the world champion, having done the Krugs, going immediately. It seemed like just hungry for the farm, the possible golden experience there, too. It was kind of a panic play more than anything. But I also have to say that from that point on, the Magi's build
it didn't get any better
into
for
the Lulu,
him, yeah.
like it just seemed a little, I don't know if it was off kilter. I don't know what we attribute that to on Impact's part.
It's a little frustration and desperation at that point. You're kind of looking to get back into the game because you were killed first, 3 minutes into the game, your first game in the North American LCS. And then at that point, it just looked pretty tilty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if North American teams are like, let's tilt Season 3 world champions. And that's their strategies.
Welcome to North America, SKT.
It's been rough for both of the world champions. I mean, Piglet earlier today and Impact in this game. Kobe, you touched real quickly on the mechanics of Kalista. I do want to go into that second mechanic of the ballista, which was a term coined by our observers, so credits to them for coming up with that one. We're going to pull this replay up. It's the one that happens in the mid lane. And you know, we're more just watching it because of its awesomeness than anything else.
So not only does this play look cool, but actually it was necessary because Xiao has flash. So let's roll the clip and we'll see if this was just a regular hook, Xiao, the flash would take him almost back into his turret range. But here's the flash in, he gets the hook, Xiao would only go back to basically safety. He pulls him all the way back and they get the free kill here. So it's not just for looks. It's a very effective strategy. Pulling someone an entire screen, extremely strong. As Sneaky said, though, you can combo Kalista with any support right now, and there's all kinds of different things that you can do.
Yeah, and in order to actually make that combo happen, when Blitzcrank's hook lands, it ends up like basically it says you're going to go where Blitzcrank was when he landed the hook. So when that play happens, you actually see the hook flying towards him, and he's already taken the Fate's Call backwards. And then when the hook makes contact, Aphromu's actually way further back than he would have been, and that's what pulls him the distance. Because if you're a little late on that and you don't have full trust in your support, then it won't go the full way.
That's what we saw him try and pull it off a couple of times. That's why Doublelift, he never hesitates to see if the hook hits, because then it's too late. That's how we got rid of the hook and then flashback, so Blitzcrank can't do that long range hooking himself.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we used to see that, or you see that a lot of times in normal games with like the Thresh Lantern and things like that. Unfortunately, there's not too many Thresh Blitz bot lanes in the LCS. But it does also beg the question of what other champions does Kalista allow for in that support type role? Will we see other champions come into the bot lane? Given that
Blitzcrank is only the beginning, right?
Oh,
well, I don't know. Like, it's interesting speculation, and I would hope that teams are willing to kind of explore. Sneaky had told me that Nautilus actually with Kalista is a fantastic. He ran into it in solo queue and was like, it was pretty incredible the amount of damage that went out, and then again the ability to hook and things like that is astonishing.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think you have to go too far out of actual support champions to find good combos. You throw Morgana in there, that's perfect. You get an extra initiation. There's so many different champions. Thresh obviously combos extremely well with her because they can both pull each other, save each other whenever anybody gets in trouble. It's a lot of combos.
Yeah, and a lot of people are valuing, at least the Kalistas that we've seen, binding with their lane partner. So let's have a lane partner that can make use of the ultimate and the passive, usually in like both ways. So like Annie's really good with that, whereas something like a Braum doesn't really make use of the W as much as it makes use of the ultimate. So we're seeing a lot of champions paired with it that utilize both.
Right, Annie has the range to proc the W, but also some fantastic initiate that benefits from.
Blitzcrank is kind of like, he can actually make use of the W a little bit because he pulls somebody in and then it's guaranteed damage at that point.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Now, that was a great win for CLG, coming out strong. Tip has a little bit of rethinking to do here. I mean, again, as Jat and Freak pointed out, Impact, fresh off the plane, they really haven't had that much time to get together, so there's no reason for anyone to condemn them as, a failure of a team here. But where should they be looking to make the quickest improvements?
Communication. I think it's communication. They need to play together more because they need to get a feel for each other's play styles and what each one of them wants to do at certain times. Because there's 3 languages on that team. Like, nobody's going to learn their teammates' languages overnight. They have to get a feel for each other and just play more together. That's really what it comes down to, and I think that's going to be the quickest improvement. I know it's very vague, but that's what I'm going to hit.
I think they also first have to work on what the shots they're actually going to be calling are. They've even talked about, Rush in his solo queue style. The coach wants to work with him a lot more since he's a shot caller, of course. Getting the game plan in the first place and then working on communicating that game plan to everybody. Then they can come together, yeah.
Make it their own language.
I agree, yeah. There you go. It's going to be their own language.
All right, well, TIP, they have some time. It's early in the season to kind of get things in order. CLG, though, looking strong today. It's going to be a pretty interesting game to watch tomorrow against Cloud9. We are going to step away for a minute, but don't touch that browser because Team Solo Mid are preparing to face off against Winter Fox in our 5th game of the day. The North American LCS continues after this.